long day and life's getting you down, just sit with a puzzle and turn it around. Piece by piece, piece by piece puzzler.
Hi Puzzle Fam, this is Richard, aka Piece by Piece Puzzler, and I'm coming to you today with a somewhat more personal video than some of the others on my channel. So today I am featuring a Canadian puzzle company called Passport Puzzles, and their main mission as a puzzle company is to raise awareness of and to give support to the cause of organ donation. So I haven't really shared this with many of the folks in the puzzle community that I'm in touch with, but it happens to be that 8 years ago, I was actually able to donate a kidney to my father when he was struggling with kidney disease. So this is a cause that's near and dear to my heart. And when I reached out to Passport Puzzles to share my story with them and to tell them how excited I was that there was a puzzle company out there that was supporting the mission of organ donation, they offered to send me a puzzle to feature on this channel and to share a little bit about my story of organ donation. So when I found out that my father was struggling with kidney disease, I was able to go in for some of the tests that you need to go through to find out if you are a match to be a kidney donor, and also just to make sure that you go through a battery of tests to make sure that you will be a successful donor, and also that you will be able to be healthy and survive and thrive after the organ donation surgery. So the process was actually pretty simple for me once I went through all the tests. You go into the hospital with your organ recipient, and then several hours later you wake up and I now only have one kidney and my dad now has a functioning kidney. So I have to say it was one of the most profound experiences of my life, because when I woke up after the surgery, I remember just having tears like falling from my eyes, and the nurses had looked at me and just said, "Are you okay? Is something wrong?" And I just said, "No, I'm so happy," because they had just told me that my dad, he had actually accepted the kidney. It's not 100% fail-safe that you wouldn't have a rejection once you donate. So I was just so happy that it was a success and that the kidney had taken hold and that my dad would be able to live a healthier and happier life. So I just wanted to share a little bit about my story. I won't go into the myriad of details about it, but it was a fairly easy process for me. Once the donation had happened, we were in the hospital for about 2 or 3 days, I think. And then it took about a week to 2 weeks before I was really up and walking and back to 100%. I was walking a little bit before then just to get reacclimated, but until I was actually able to sort of sustain day-to-day life. But to me, it was worth it. And so I just wanted to share a little bit about my story with you. So if you're a puzzler and you're considering organ donation for yourself as a living donor, feel free to reach out to me or leave a comment, and I'd be happy to discuss my experience with you further. Also, I'm really thrilled just to feature Passport Puzzles and to tell you a little bit more about this brand. So the puzzles all feature travel images from a variety of places that were taken by a man named Jonathan, who is himself an organ recipient. And I'll show you this one here. This one is called Market Parasols. It's from Luang Prabang in Laos. And there is a note on the back of it from the photographer Jonathan Ferguson, and I'll read it to you. It says, "Whenever possible, my first stop in any new city is always the local market. Some of my best travel memories and food experiences have taken place in markets around the world. You instantly get thrown into the heart of a culture and get a literal taste for the region. The handicraft market in Luang Prabang is certainly geared towards tourists, but it's still incredibly fun to stroll down the endless aisles of this outdoor attraction. Locally made souvenirs, clothing, artwork, lanterns, scarves, and these stunning colorful parasols are just some of the treasures that can be found. Purchasing goods here help local families earn a living and in some cases get out of poverty. Of course, a little healthy bargaining is always welcome." So I just love that there are focuses on puzzles that sort of transport you, because that's one of the things that is really integral to puzzling from my experience. I mean, I like to sort of do a puzzle and then let my mind kind of wander to wherever the puzzle is set, or if it's a puzzle that's about a topic or that's featuring a holiday or something, it just gets me into the zone and into the mood of what's going on. So, you know, I love that this puzzle, as I'm doing it, is going to make me think both about this market in Laos, but also just about my own organ donation experience, and just, you know, feeling positive about the fact that this puzzle company is doing something financially to put some of their proceeds from the puzzles towards promoting the cause of organ donation, because it's something that, you know, is out there. And I think most of us know somebody who's an organ donor, who's an organ recipient, who needs an organ, is on the wait list. And you don't always, you know, connect that with puzzling. But it's something that I think it's just really cool that a puzzling hobby can support getting the word out there and just making a bit of a difference in this sphere. So one easy thing also that you can do, just as a person who's not necessarily going to donate an organ or a part of an organ, is you can also just make sure that when you are either signing up for your driver's license or renewing your driver's license, that you sign up to be an organ donor. You know, I think there's a big misconception in terms of organ donation on your driver's license, that somehow the life-saving paramedics or fire department, police department are going to be somewhat negligible or less eager to save your life if you're an organ donor, but it couldn't be further from the case. It's really just an option to make sure that if in the unfortunate event, you know, you pass away, your organs can be used instead of just going to waste. You know, can you imagine, you know, having perfectly good organs that you just can't use for folks who need them, only because somebody didn't check a box on a form when they were signing up for their license? I know that's a little bit morose or morbid, but it's something that's important to talk about, and it's something that I think folks should consider when they are signing up for their driver's license or their government ID. So without further ado, I'll stop my proselytizing on the subject of organ donation, and I will jump into this puzzle and show you what the inside of the box looks like and get into the process. So here's the puzzle box. It's a really nice box, and it has like a magnetic flip top that opens to reveal the image of the puzzle. And there's also inside this beautiful cloth bag that holds the pieces. So I'm going to open this up, and here are all the pieces. And because this is a very colorful image, it's really a very, very colorful assortment of puzzle pieces. And they have a white cardboard backing, but they feel really sturdy. I don't know if you can see that too well, but yeah, it's a really interesting, nice variety of piece shapes. And I think that this is going to be a really fun puzzle to sort, because there are a lot of different color blocked sections here. So I think I'm going to be able to really easily sort between yellow, this kind of lime green, the pink here that's on 2 different parasols, the purple that's on 2 other parasols. You know, just get everything sorted out and then work on it in sections. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some sorting. So I finished the sorting. These are very, very colorful, vibrant pieces, and they seem really, really sturdy. There's not a single bend to any of the pieces. None of them are peeling at all. They seem to have been really, really well cut. So I am going to move into the phase of doing the edges, which I'm really looking forward to. The edge pieces look really, really nice and colorful. So I'm going to do that next. So as you can see behind me, I finished the puzzle. I had a lot of fun with this one. The pieces were a medium thickness and they were semi-glossy, not super duper shiny, but they did have a bit of a shine to them. And I really enjoyed with this puzzle sort of discovering what my process for taking it on would be. So I started by sorting the colors out into their individual stacks. And then as I would bring each color onto the board, I was mostly starting by picking out what these spokes were in each color and then putting those together and using them as a guidepost for the piece shapes on all of the other pieces in each parasol. So that ended up working really well for me, and I would say that each color, you know, as it went along, it felt like it got a little bit easier because I got a little bit more used to the process that I had chosen for this puzzle. So in the end, I really enjoyed this one, and I want to say a big thank you to Passport Puzzles for sending this puzzle to try. And I also really loved the cloth bag that came inside, and the pieces were stored in. And before I go, I just wanted to say again, I really thank you for listening to my story about my organ donation process. And if you are interested in learning more about organ donation, what you can do, if you have any questions about the process, aside from dropping a note and reaching out to me, which you're welcome to do, my email address is in the description in this video. If you don't feel comfortable doing that and you just want to look at organ donation research on your own, you can look at donatelife.net. And they have a lot of resources there and helpful information about organ donation. And in addition, you can buy puzzles from Passport Puzzles. And as I mentioned, a portion of each purchase goes towards supporting organ donation awareness and also supporting those who are either recipients of organs or who are living donors themselves. So huge shout out to this brand that is trying to make a difference in the world. You know, it's really a very interesting, cool, and unique thing to take something that is a lot of people's hobby and passion and to use it to do something that is bigger than just the individual puzzlers and to try to make a statement and make a change in the world. So without further ado, until the next video, really hope you'll check out Passport Puzzles. And until next time, happy puzzling.
Piece by piece, piece by piece puzzler.